Gladiator beats Domitianus.
Oh, I know. Two giant.
Gladiator beats Domitianus.
Hey gang, I'm back with another deck profile. It's a Glad Beast again, but this time it's for the event that they got going on, that Legends Anthology. Why would I make a deck profile for a very non-competitive format that's going to be gone in like a week? Well, you always have the best questions, my friend. Regarding the format, it's pretty god-awful. Yes, most of the top meta decks can't be played, and yes, the bug is resting in hell. But that a good format does not make. For whatever reason, they left a bunch of combo decks at mostly full power, and with no way to interact with the good hand traps. They're just going to set up some stupid ward over 20 minutes. And also the brain geniuses at Konami banned Droplet and Dark Ruler no more, so good luck cracking anything. I mean, it's not the worst event I ever played in. I know a lot of people like the event. By a lot of people, I mean the Dark Magician players that won 1 out of every 4 duels instead of the usual 1 out of every 40. Oh, stop booing. There's nothing wrong with playing your bad pet deck. Speaking of bad pet decks, let's see what I've got for you today. Like I said, it's Glad Beast. They're a deck, and their cards have effects. And that's the video. That's the deck. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see ya. But seriously, I'm not going to sit here and read every effect for you. What I have for you here is a stupid combo deck that's just looking to set up a stupid board and win off that, which, I mean, was like my general complaint about the event. But, you know, sometimes you just want to play with the Cocaine Bear, and there's nothing wrong with that. You might hear from some lying, deceitful individuals online that this is a go second deck. Like, for example, right here.
What ignorant, low down, slanderizing son of a bitch said that?
And I encourage you, dear listeners, don't believe their lies. Don't take my word for it. Let me show you off the combos. Afterwards, we'll go over the quick card by card. So this isn't the cleanest combo, and the cards in your hand are going to dictate how you approach the combo. There are 2 main parts. The first is the Test Panther setup, which you need to first get a Glad Beast on the board and a second monster. The second monster can be a Glad Beast, but doesn't have to be. We just need to summon Test Panther. The second part is going to be getting 2 level 5 or higher Glads on board with a Gladiator's comeback still in our hand. Some hands will be able to accomplish this, others not. You'll need to get a feel for what you need and when, so generally have some search options available to you. For instance, here we have a Proving Ground in our hand, which is 1 search. Sometimes you'll need to search Darius for extension, or Torix for a level 5 monster, or here we just need any normal summonable Glad. Remember, we also are going to be able to get 1 search off of Panther when we summon him, and we already have Comeback in our hand, so that might get our brain thinking, hey, maybe we don't need to search it. But then as we get into the combo, we realize, oh, we won't be able to get another monster on board to spin back with Panther. So we'll need that second comeback because we need to use the first comeback to get a Glad on board. So we'll end up using Test Panther to search or comeback. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into the combo. So we're going to start off by activating Proving Ground. We just need any normal summonable Glad Beast monster. So let's just go ahead and grab the Cocaine Bear himself. Go ahead and normal summon him. And so if we have Glad on board, now we can special summon Test Tiger. Now we can link off for Test Panther. We want to go ahead and activate Test Panther, and as I discussed before, we want to search Comeback. We'll go ahead and activate Comeback to get another Gladiator Beast on board in order to spin it back with Panther. Make sure you don't take the one out of that Augustus out of hand, because we need that for the next step. So activate Panther, spin back Andal, and then that allows us to summon any Glad Beast and it'll trigger their effects. So we'll trigger Augustus, which will allow us to special summon the Augustus from our hand. This is the second part. Now we have our second setup, which is 2 Gladiator Beasts on the board that level 5 or higher with a comeback still in our hand. So we activate that, special summon Tamer Editor. We will activate Tamer Editor. Make sure you go into Dom at this point. You cannot go Heraklinos because Heraklinos is Beast Warrior, which will shut off comeback to the next part of the combo. Now you need to link off Test Panther and Tamer Editor for a link 3. It doesn't have to be a link 3. I think just, you know, make use of your link material there. And we go for Decode Talker and make sure you kind of like fix your zone so he's actually pointing to stuff. That's why we put Domitianus there. So we activate Comeback, bring back Tamer Editor. Now we can summon Heraklinos, put him in the zone Decode Talker points to, and then that's going to be the end of the combo there. We end on Heraklinos, Domitianus, and then Tamer Editor that can't be destroyed by battle, along with a Decode Talker that's pointing to 2 monsters. Pretty strong, especially for this event. Your opponents are going to have a tough time dealing with this. And this is just a general combo. You might get a better feel for doing something or what you can do with the cards in your hand as you get into playing the deck. So welcome back, friends. There is a going second combo that I'm not gonna show. It's you summon drag off getting two glads on board or Geyserus, and you tag out into two level fives, and then you can just kind of combo off from there. Let's get into once again another quick and dirty card by card. First off, three Veiler, one Imperm. It's what we're legally allowed to run, and I'll take any interaction I can get if I'm going second. We've got two Lava Golem and one Raigeki, pretty much your only board breakers in the game right now, so I'm going to run them when I can. And that pretty much covers everything non-engine. For our Glad package, now remember in my combo, there's really two steps. Step one is the Test Panther setup, so we need to get two monsters on board, one of them being a Gladiator Beast. And that ends up being where a Cocaine Bear is unironically our best card in the deck. My only main complaint is they ban Link Spider, so the bear will brick. But when he doesn't, he pairs extremely well with Unexpected Die, which is unexpectedly good. Which that brings us down to probably one of the most important cards in our deck, Gladiator Rejection. Any duel where we find this, we probably have a decent chance of just straight up winning. The first effect, pretty insane. Your opponent cannot target any Gladiator Beast monster with a card effect, except during the battle phase. So that means no Veilers, no Imperms, or that means no stupid cheeky little trap cards people are running for this event. The second effect is that when you special summon a Gladiator Beast from the deck, you can special summon a different one with a type not shared with one on the board. And Rejection just doesn't care how they were special summoned, just special summon from the deck. So that means that Unexpected Die works. That also means Rescue Rabbit works. And not only is Rescue Rabbit the most based card to ever be printed, his effect is also insane and pairs well with the bear. Since he's a normal monster, obviously. And then that also is going to trigger Rejection, which is going to give you your best setup. So Rescue Rabbit is the best starter we have in the deck. Unfortunately, Konami's onto my shenanigans. They were smart enough to put him to 1 for the event. We are on 3 Test Tiger. He's a free special summon we have in Glad on board, so he's good for setting up Panther, which is probably by design. That's probably how they intended Test Tiger to be used. You're probably never going to use Test Tiger's other effect where you can spin a Gladiator Beast back into the deck just because it's going to -1 you. Really, the effect you're going to get off is probably not going to be worth it. But it does pair well with Rejection because that's instantly going to recover the lost resource if you happen to lose the Test Tiger. So I'm not saying it's never going to come up, but it's just rarely going to come up. It's just we're using him as our second body on board for that first part of our combo of getting Test Panther set up. After that, we have some of our one-ofs. First up, Bestiari. He can pop something on board, which can rarely come up, sometimes comes up. More importantly, he's the named material on Gladiator Beast, Geyserus, which means like going second. If you can get one Gladiator Beast on board off a special summon like Unexpected Die, then you can like normal summon Bestiari, fuse and summon them off into Geyserus, and then you have the setup for a combo play, or just popping 2 cards on board. Also, it works well with fusion deployment down here, which allows you to special summon a named fusion monster, so it actually has to list the monster's name on the fusion monster from your deck. So it pairs well with that, so it can be a free special summon for Bestiari from deck, and that also is going to trigger Rejection because it's a summon from deck. Unfortunately, fusion deployment does lock you into fusion summons only, so you can't do any combos with Test Panther, but sometimes you can just, go into Tamer Editor afterwards, and then just summon Dom, and that's good enough. After Bestiari, we're on to Darius. Darius is just extension by summoning a Gladiator Beast from grave when his effect goes off. Sometimes you are going to be adding him to hand as part of your combo to get 2 level 5 or higher monsters on the board. If you can like get an Augustus in the grave, and then you can special summon Darius off like another Augustus, or you can just straight up special summon Darius off a different Gladiator Beast effect. Coming right down to here, we can look at Gladiator Proving Ground now. So for whatever reason, Gladiator Beasts have an in-archetype Rhoda, and somehow isn't completely broken. I mean, look at this card. It's not a hard once per turn. It's any other Gladiator Beast monster from deck to hand. I mean, the only stipulation is 4 or lower, so we can't be searching any of the high-level ones. But it just kind of speaks to the Gladiator Beast effect that they're just like normal summon, do nothing, is pretty much what every Gladiator Beast is. So the card basically only comes up for setting up your combo, and your combo line is slightly different every time because of the cards in hand. And that's where, like, sometimes you'll be searching Darius, occasionally you'll be searching Bestiari. We're just skip a quest for now, but the one you'll probably be searching for the most is a Torix. Because a Torix is for setting up that second part of the combo where you need to get 2 Gladiator Beasts on board that are level 5 or higher. And a Torix is level 4, so you can search for it with Proving Ground, and then you can summon that Torix from hand by Augustus's effect, which we'll get into, and then make a Torix a level 5 or higher to go in the Tamer Editor. So it's for that setup. Coming back to a quest just can recover resources from the grave, so he's good to run. I like running him. You can bring back Gladiator Beast Comeback, which is the strongest card in our deck because it's any Gladiator Beast card. So he preserves resources, just good to have in the deck when you need him. We're on 2 Vespacito. He's a funny battle trick that doesn't come up too often, but it is funny. He's also the name material on Domitianus, so you can summon him off Fusion Deployment, which could come up if you can like do a play to get another level 5 or higher on the board, and then Fusion Deployment for Domitianus, and they can go to Tamer Editor. I mean, there's some other funny plays you can do, but I mean, he's just kind of fun to run. Probably the most important one to run on our decks, we have him at 3 is Augustus. We're on triple Augustus because when he hits the board off a Glad effect, you can summon a Glad from your hand, and that will trigger that Glad's effect because they were special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster. So Augustus can summon an Augustus from hand, and then that summoned Augustus can special summon someone else. So you can make some funny summon chains. That's how like your best combos are gonna go, is when you have an Augustus in hand that you're able to proc. We're on 1 Monster Reborn just as possible extension, or if you like Tamer Editor hits the grave, you can bring him back and you can get your board set back up again. So it's pretty strong, it's nice to run in the deck. Last to look at is Gladiator Beast Comeback, which is definitely the strongest card in the deck. It's not a once per turn for some reason. It has a Photon Lead-like effect where you can special summon a Gladiator Beast from your hand. So that's one way you can set up the first part of the combo where you just need 2 monsters on board. So say you have like Andal and Bestiary in hand, you can start off by activating Comeback, special summon Andal, normal summon Bestiary, link off into Test Panther. But more, the other important effect it has, it's a Monster Reborn type effect. Just remember the restriction, but you can bring back a Tamer Editor that's in grave, so you can activate Tamer Editor's effect again because it's a soft once per turn for whatever reason. Last card we're running is 2 Shade Brigadine. He's just another free extender for a second monster on the board for that first part of the combo. So any Gladiator Beast plus Shade Brigadine can be Test Panther. But he also works really well as material for Time Thief Redoer, and he is crazy strong in this event. I mean, watch him solo this man. Yeah, Shade Brigadine, nice to run in the deck. So now let's take a look at the extra deck. Konami basically said F your Link monsters. Basically any Link monster worth running is banned except for the actual comedy hit of Access Code to 1. We're running some pretty subpar Link monsters other than the archetype ones. But we'll go through the ones I'm running when I get to them. But in terms of actual Gladiator Beast, so we're on the one of Esadari. He's ass, but sometimes you get 1 level 5 Glad on board, and you can get like 2 level 4s on board with like a Darius play. But that means you can't go into Tamer Editor, but you could like use those 2 level 4s to fuse into Esadari, and now you have 2 level 5 or highers on the board, and then you can go into Tamer Editor and then you can combo off. You can also like summon him with Tamer Editor just to use that monster as like link material to preserve like some of your good fusion monsters in the extra deck, which kind of comes up. We are on one of Geyserus. 2 would probably be better, but I'm not wasting more dust on Gladiator Beast. He pops 2 cards. He can special summon from the deck. He's got decent stats. Great card. You can summon him with Tamer Editor. Turns him into his effect into a pop 2, which is just game-breakingly good. So yeah, one of Geyserus. One of Herc, and just like my Friday evenings, he's always herking it. Negating spells and traps left and right. Part of your combo. Great card to go into. Huge stats. Definitely run him. We're on 2 Tamer Editor. He's our combo guy. You know, special summon any of our broken fusion monsters, and then win the duel. Simple as that. So the fact that we can run 2 is nice in case somehow our opponent deals with the first one. We can go into him again. 2 Domitianus. He's a crazy card, especially for this event. Negating 1 effect is almost like end your opponent's turn against some decks. And then the funny little battle trick is just comedy gold for when your opponent has no idea what's going on. And it actually pairs really well with Gladiator Beast Comeback's other hidden ability, where the monster special summoned by its effect can't be destroyed by battle. So typically, like you can like leave a Tamer Editor on board with Domitianus, and you can just have their monster crash into their indestructible Tamer Editor that has 3,000 defense, which is kind of funny. We're on Time Thief Redoer. He's probably just like the best generic level 4 Exceed monster we can run. He's really strong, and since we're already on Shade Brigadine, you know, why not? He's just like, when you couldn't combo off, he's kind of your plan B. He's also like some janky removal on tough to deal with monsters. There's just not a lot of ways to deal with monsters in this event that you can't be destroyed by card effect, because we like don't have access to like Nightmare Unicorn or any like good cards, you know. So I'll take any janky removal that I can get. We're on 2 Dragassis. One's probably fine. I think I summoned him like once for just the duels I did. If you're going second, he's great. You'll go into him when you need him. He's like, if he gets to a battle, you're probably going to win the duel, because you can go into 2 level 5s into Tamer Editor and just go off from there. But after that, we're on the 2 Test Panther. It's nice that we're able to run 2, so that means like turn 1 we can combo off with Test Panther. Turn 2 we still have a Test Panther to access to combo with. Great card, searches a spell on summon, and then can spin a Glad to get another Glad, which activates their effect. And then the unfortunate ones, we're running Decode Talker. Sometimes you need to like link off Tamer Editor to get into the grave, and there's just like no good link 3s that are out there, so we're running like the least bad one. He does get big as long as you're like paying attention to zones, and he has an effect that could possibly maybe sometimes eventually come up. Or on one Boro load, I got in some weird situations where I needed to like link off 2 monsters on the board, because I had like 2 Beast Warriors on the board, and in order to bring back Tamer Editor for comeback, so I wanted a link 4, and I didn't want to waste my access code talker, so I threw in the one with, and I'm gonna put like, you know, you have to imagine the biggest air quotes that I could possibly be doing right now. I used the link 4 monster with protection. He's big. He might be a little tough for your opponent to deal with. I mean, his attacking effect is kind of cool, but you know. And one of access code as a finisher. Use access code, you know him, you love him. So that's the build, and yes, I ran the numbers. 41 cards is mathematically optimal for this build, so I don't want to hear any complaints below. I'm sure there are other cards you can run, but this event is whatever. Do what you think is right and feels good. You know what? Just take that as general life advice. Just do whatever you think is right and feels good, and don't hold me legally liable for saying that. With that, let's get into some duels. Alright, so first duel I got up for you, so I lost the coin flip, and unfortunately we are against, you know, that guy in the event who always just plays Time Lord. So you know we're in for a good one. So, you know, he's gonna summon this Time Lord and pass with 1 set back row. And we open kind of cracked. I'm going to go ahead and activate rejections. Now my Glads can't be targeted. I'm going to activate this Proving Ground, and for whatever reason I thought I would need Darius here, but I really never had an opportunity to go into him, so kind of wasted, but there really wasn't anything else that would have helped more there. So we go into Panther, we're going to go ahead and activate Comeback, bring back the Andal, now we'll spin back Andal, and that'll allow us to go into Augustus, which will trigger rejection, which means we can summon Despacito. Augustus back activates, bring out Augustus activates again. So I'm going to Torque, send something to the grave, make him level 5, and then my opponent gets the fattest ceasefire of his life. I'm going to go ahead and go to Tamer Editor, get Domtinus, then I'm going to go to another Tamer Editor, and then I can't read, so I go into Gazaris to try to pop his guy, but it does not get popped. But that's okay. I think we're still in a decent position with double Tamer Editor. He's going to summon another Time Thief, which we're going to redirect the attack and then just negate the destruction effect. And now we are just going to sit here and wait. For some reason, he activates this back. Cool, you got 2 goons on the board. Whatever. Have fun with that. Alright, so it's back to me. I want to get my board set up a little better. Basically, I know I just need to wait out all of this guy's Time Lords, because they're just going to keep sending themselves back to the deck. So I'm just going to try to set up double Domitianus. And Tamer Editor is once per turn, so got Herc to Domitianus. And, you know, just absolutely in case we got Decode Talker too, and I've got a million cards in hand, and now we're just going to wait till he does not draw a Time Thief. And because it's going to take a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. I'll be back in a minute because not much is going to happen. Alright, so I'm back, and thank God he finally didn't draw a Time Lord. I realized I was calling him Time Thieves before, but I think that was intentional because he was stealing my time, even though there was no way he would ever crack this board. He's going to try to get me with a stupid burn trap, and we will fire off Herc just to negate that and get in a really high amount over lethal, we'll say. So easy game, nice work there, Gladiator Beasts. Alright, so lost the coin flip, and oh god, we're going up against Poison the Old Man Gamer and another Time Lord Gamer. You can tell it's a good event when people are playing these just super cool, fun decks. But I do see the boy, there's Rescue Rabbit himself. Let's go ahead and fire that off. A little worried about that one back row, but you know, we've got extension in our hand. We'll deal with it when we need to. So we're just going to kind of do our combo. At this point, we're going to go Augustus, and he's going to fire that Ring of Destruction. Probably at the worst moment, because Augustus is still going to trigger, but he did see that big Numby, so you know he had to fire it there. But we're going to go into Decode Talker, and now I don't want to be sitting here for another hour dealing with stupid Time Lord bullshit, so I'm going to go into Time Thief Redoer. So now it's Time Thief Redoer versus the Time Lords. You know, it's kind of fun and exciting. Because Time Lords are very good cards, it's just going to neg himself and go back into the deck. But he's going to try to summon another one. And here he comes. Oh, another Poison the Old Man. Man, that's just such a useful card. Just really impacts the board in such a meaningful way. But we're just going to go ahead and fire Time Thief Redoer here, send his goon back to deck. And now we shouldn't have too much trouble just trying to end the game here. Activate Rejection, summon Darius, and we've got well over lethal on board. Oh, but he's got the Magic Cylinder. Oh, but Decode Talker actually mattering. Because that targets, we will negate, and we'll let Time Thief get in it for lethal. Good game, Mr. Time Lord Man. Get off the ladder. And go on to the next one. And it's crazy how I just always open cracked in these replays I'm showing you. I just must be very good at drawing my cards correctly. But we've got the rejection, we've got the die. We're going to activate die, that's going to trigger rejection. We're going to get Augustus. We're going to link them both off. Test Panther is going to trigger. We're going to get the comeback. And now we're going to normal summon Andal. We'll send Andal back to the deck to summon an Augustus. Augustus will get Torix, which will allow us to summon Augustus to grave. Switch to summon Tamer Editor, activate Tamer Editor, go into Downtimes, link them both off, Decode Talker, we're gonna activate that comeback, bring back Tamer Editor, activate the effect, we're gonna go into Herc. Let's see what my opponent can do. I've got one spell negate, I've got the Downtimes negate, and then I've got Decode Talker. And he's gonna fire that Duster, I'm not gonna negate that, that's fine, I don't really need that anymore. And it is Mataza the Zapper OTK, look at that big Numby, ooh, but I get to choose your attack targets with Dom, have fun crash into that useless monster. From here it should be no problem getting into lethal. We're just gonna fire off Tamer Editor, we're gonna bring out the man Geyserus, he's gonna pop 2, bye-bye to your goon, and we've got 1,000,000 damage on board. See you later. Another really cool deck on ladder. I'm not sure why so many people enjoy this event, but that's okay. Alright, on to the next one. And we won the coin flip. Let's see what we can make it happen. We got the rejection, and some Andal. And then at this point, you can't see it in the replay, but I got a read that he had something chainable there, which means it's an Imperm or a Veiler because it happened at the moment I summoned Test Tiger. So I went ahead and activated Test Tiger so I could play around it. If I went Test Panther there, he would have been able to negate the Panther effect. So this way I'm able to set up the Domitinus first, and then I can negate that. That way Test Panther doesn't negate it. Now I can get the comeback. I can bring back Tamer Editor. And I can activate Tamer Editor. I'm actually going to go into the crappy fusion just so I can flip it back with Test Panther so I can keep my Tamer Editor on board, and I'm just going to link those two off for Decode Talker after bringing back the comeback off a quest, just to preserve some resources. And we're up against Marvin Sus. Okay, cool combo deck. He's just going to try to make something happen, and his turn is over. So I could summon Geysers here to try to pop his 2 back row, but I might as well just summon Heraclinos and then negate whatever he tries to activate. And he is going to summon Judgment, the comeback. He's going to try to activate a spell trap, and we will just negate that, simple as, and we're going to get well over lethal after he spent 4,000 negating my 1 card. And that's kind of how these games go when you go first. That simple. GG. Alright, last still I got for you, once again, won the coin flip, and we opened Rescue Rabbit, and we got that Augustus in hand and a comeback. Pretty insane hand. So we'll go ahead and summon Rabbit, we'll get out 2 bears, we'll link them off for Test Panther, we'll go ahead and add another comeback, we'll go ahead and activate comeback, bring back one of those bears, spin bear back into deck, just allow summon Augustus, Augustus will activate, summon Augustus, Augustus will activate, bring back Darius, Darius will activate, bring back that Andal, Now link those two off, or fuse those two off to Tamenar, activate the effect, summon Dom. Link these 4 off for Borreload because we need to get those Beast Warriors off the base. Bring back Tamer Editor, and we'll activate the effect. We'll go into Heraclius. And let's see what my opponent's on. It's got 6 cards, and it's DDD's nuts. And here we go. He's comboing off. I have no idea really what any of their cards do. I don't really have an hour to read them all. I'm kind of holding back on my negation to try to clear his board. So I'm going to go ahead and fire it here. I'm pretty sure he's already Pendulum summoned, he's already normal summoned, that this is a good enough choke point. Then I can negate that spell that he might activate. So I get to choose his attack target. He was trying to swing it in to get it into the grave. So he could activate the effect in grave. I'm just going to slam it into the defense monster, and at that, he's going to go ahead and scoop it up. Good game. And that was the last duel I had for you. Thanks for stopping by, and see ya!